The Electoral Commission of South Africa called for calm as it tallied votes in the country's election amid reports the African National Congress party has lost its parliamentary majority. This is a moment that we need to manage well. We are grateful that we have come this far with all of you. Don't be tired. We're not done yet, said IEC chairperson Masoto Mopia in a statement Saturday. With more than 99% of votes counted Saturday, the once dominant ANC had received just over 40% of votes cast Wednesday, well short of the majority it had held since the famed all-race vote of 1994 that ended apartheid and brought it to power under Nelson Mandela. Now, the final results are still to be formally declared by the Independent Electoral Commission that ran the election. And joining us from South Africa to discuss the event in the region is Kundai Darlington, Vambe, columnist at the Southern African Times. Good to have you on Arise News, Darlington. So what are your thoughts, the current narratives regarding this election? What is the way forward? And are there still talks about a coalition government here?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Coalition, that is the talk of the day, I think. And we're going to hear that word a lot in the coming days or coming weeks. There are talks about coalitions. So I think the most important development is that almost all the major players in these coalition talks have sort of highlighted their demands or their requirements as they go into a coalition. Interestingly, yesterday, former President Zuma's MK spokesperson was very clear. He said, we'll go into a discussion with the ANC, but we will not go into a discussion with the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa. So from that, they're clearly saying they will not go into any discussion with the ANC regarding a coalition unless President Cyril Ramaphosa is no longer the leader of the ANC. Quite similarly, the EFF, they've made their stance very clear. They didn't mince their words. They simply said, for us to go into any coalition talks, we demand the Ministry of Finance. The EFF President Julius Malema said he needs Floyd Shivambu to be the Minister of Finance for him to start talking about any coalition. And then, interestingly, the Democratic Alliance seems to be open to working with the ANC. But again, they've got their own demands. The most interesting of those demands is that the Democratic Alliance wants the Deputy President, Palmer Shatile, to be arrested and to resign before they get into any coalition. And it didn't start now. They've been calling for his arrest because of certain issues from the past that we can't get into right now. But that's the moment that we're in right now. Everybody has made their demands. And I don't know if they're going to find each other through those demands. But that's as far as it can go, as far as demands are concerned.
All right, Kundai, you've been speaking about the elections, but at the moment, when are we expecting the IEC, even though they're saying they're calling for calm, we know 99% of the results have actually come in. When are we expecting the IEC to announce the official results from the elections?
The official results are expected today, I think after 1700 hours South African time. But in that vein, there's a lot of issues. There's been allegations of irregularities. Specifically, the MK has highlighted issues, that there were issues with rigging and miscounts and all of that. The EFF has also echoed the same thing. The difference, however, is that the EFF is saying whatever issues are there are not significant enough to change the numbers or to alter the numbers. And in that vein, the IEC has vowed to go ahead with the announcement of the results later today. And I understand that President Ramaphosa will be in attendance.
Well, very good, Kundai. Now, we hear that the ANC is talking to virtually all the political parties, as it were. But what if they can't harmonize all their different positions regarding their demands, as it were? What is the next step forward, and as it pertains to the election results?
It's a very difficult phase that the country finds itself in. these demands seem to be very complex to meet. On the one hand, the MK is demanding that President Cyril Ramaphosa goes for them to engage with the ANC, while the DA is demanding that the deputy president goes for them to engage with the ANC. So how then can you say you will not allow one party to tell you to get rid of your president, which is what the Secretary General highlighted this afternoon to say, there is no party that is going to tell the ANC to get rid of President Ramaphosa as a condition of a coalition. But if the DA is going to make that demand to the ANC and the ANC gives in to letting go of the Vice President, Paul Mashatile, then it comes across as a double standard. So this is a very catch-22 situation. I believe we're still a long way to go. But overall, I think it is important for leaders to find each other, which I believe they will find each other. There will be some sacrifices, intense sacrifices. We don't know to what extent, but at this stage, I cannot write off any sacrifice. When the ANC National Executive Committee is cornered, they need to progress. They need to establish a government. So who are they going to sacrifice? Is it going to be the Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, for them to get into a coalition with the DA? Or is it going to be the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, for them to get into a coalition with the ANC, with the MK? So it is very difficult at this stage to tell how it's going to go. But either way, for the country to have a government, a sacrifice has to be made, and a sacrifice will be made. We do not know which one at this stage.
All right, I want to say many thanks to you, Kundai, for bringing us up to speed with the latest. We will be awaiting result, like you said, 1700 South African time, as to find out the official results from the elections in South Africa.